project we're going to be making now is a 10 LED chaser, and here it is in operation. So parts that we're going to need. First off, we should have a bunch of these resistors inside here. These are all of the resistors that are going to go straight across here. They're 1000 ohm resistors, or 1K as they're often referred to as. We're also going to have two oddball resistors. We're going to have this one here, and the colors on that one looks like are well, let's see, we got brown, red, black, violet. Oh, I'm reading it the wrong way. It'd be yellow, violet, black, and red. So yellow, turn it this way, we got yellow, violet, black, red, and looks like the last one's gold. So that would be 47000. So this would be 47,000 ohms, or 47K. Alright, and then we have this guy right here. Colors on this one would be red, black, brown, gold. So this one is red, black, brown, and gold. Alright, so this would be 2, 2, 0, 0. So this would be 2,200 ohms, or 2.2K. So we'll start with these two. Okay, so first off, the 47K, we'll pick that one up here. And this one, let's see, we might need to refer to the parts diagram. So this is the 47K. If I look on my diagram here, that is R1. Okay, so I will take that, put it in the R1 location. Get her seated down there and bend the legs a little bit. I'm just going to go ahead and stick the next one in here. This one is the 2.2K. So if we look back at our sheet here, we can see that is R2. Okay, so we'll go ahead and get that positioned. And then all we're going to have left for resistors is all of these across the top there. So we'll get these two out of the way. Remember, we're going to want to tape this thing down. So we'll do that. We'll solder. Okay. Taper down. Get my soldering iron wiped off. Okay. And a little bit on the tip. Let's see. I'm going to try and get you a little better angle on this here. Alright, good deal. Alright, a little on the tip. Touch the connection, feed it in, remove solder, remove the iron. Reheat that one real quick. Okay. And snip them off. Move on to the next. We'll do all of those other resistors that are all grouped together here. Okay. Alright, so those two are done. You can see what my solder connections look like. Not bad. Okay. Alright, so let's go for these next. These just get pulled out of the tape. So you can just kind of get rid of this. We don't need it. And these are all the same. Looks to me like these are far enough apart where I could probably put every single one of them in and then solder. So I am going to do that. Just put them in and bend the legs over just a little bit like that. Okay, I'm going to do that for all of them. Now these parts don't have positive and negative, so it really doesn't matter which way that they go in. But if you like to look at the, and see that all the colors are identical all the way across, then I suppose, you might pay attention to that. But otherwise, it doesn't matter. Okay. There's a lot of resistors. And you want to make it look neat, so just make sure that that they're all laying flat on the board like that. Now you don't have to put them all in at the same time. You could do one or two at a time. That's fine. Okay. Alright, so I got all of them in there. Okay. And all of the legs, even though it looks a little bit crazy, they're all kind of bent off at a little bit of an angle, okay, but not all the way flat over. Okay, so see that? Okay, and main thing is pay attention here. We want those to all look nice on the side. Okay, so now I'm going to flip it over, and you want to be able to tape this down so it doesn't move on us. Really important that you're doing that, because if it moves around and when you're soldering, you're just going to have bad solder connections, and you don't want that. Okay, so here we go. A little bit on the tip, touch, feed it in. And you'll find your own technique for soldering once you get the hang of it. Main thing is to make sure that your tip is getting wedged in there so that you're heating up the copper pad and the leg of the part all at the same time. And then when you're clipping, making sure that you're putting this end down. Oops, this end down, and cutting it right at the top of the solder connection. We don't want to cut the solder itself. We're just cutting right at the top of that. Alright, let's take a look at what we did. There it is. And so we got all those solder connections done. Okay. Alright, why don't we do our LEDs next? So we do need to pay attention to the positive negative legs. You'll notice on the board here, you see these flat lines. These are kind of representing, if you remember the symbol for an LED, looks like that. Okay, this is the negative, this is positive. So this line here is kind of representative of this line right here. So you'll notice every single one of these lines is on the edge of this board. So all of the negative legs, or all of the short legs, if you have to go into the hole closest to the edge of the board. Okay. Same thing, if you have enough room in between each of these, so if you wanted to pop it in, bend them over a little bit, and do all of them at once, you can. Just make sure you're getting the short leg into the hole that is near the edge, and that they're seated down all the way and then bent over a little bit. Okay. So I'm going to go for it and do them all. Okay, got them all in. Same thing, taper down so it doesn't move on you. And make sure your tip is clean. And go ahead and start soldering. Now with your soldering iron, try to keep it so that it's got a higher angle rather than laying it flat like that. And then after we're done, we'll snip them all off. Okay. Alright, now we're ready for the next parts. So we got this part, and alright, so let's go, we'll do this one. This is a capacitor. If you look on the side, it says 1UF, long leg, short leg. You'll notice on the diagram, or on the board, we can see where it's going. Okay, it says 1UF. The long leg's positive, so that's going to go up here in this hole. The short leg's going to go into that hole. Okay, so get it in, push it in, separate them. I'm going to go ahead and put this part in too. This is capacitor. It's going to go right here where it says 104. This one does not have a positive negative. It can go in either way. So we'll go ahead and just put that in, and then we'll separate them a little bit and taper down so it doesn't move on you. Okay. Snip them. Alright, let's do this part now. This goes right where it says VR1. This is not going to push in all the way. Okay, so but you'll push it in kind of like I have it here. Probably want a piece of tape on top to hold it. Okay. Flip it over. And we have two things left here. We got this chip, what you're going to pay attention to when you're putting this in. Okay, you can see the printing on it, right? But more importantly, you can see this notch right here on the edge, right here. Line that notch up with the notch that you see right here. Okay, so notch, notch. Also, if these legs aren't all straight, look at it from above. Bend them, do what you need to so that they all get lined up properly. Okay, and then you just kind of gotta work them in there. I'm gonna get all of this column in here first, and then the other ones. Yeah, if these aren't all in a nice line, they can be a bit troublesome. But you got to make sure that every single leg makes it through to the other side, or else you will have problems. So before you do any soldering, see this one? It's missing. It's not coming through. So I got to fix that. It looks like it got bent. It did. So see if I can pull that one back out. There we go. Okay, I think that's it. All right, if I take a good look, every single one of the legs is coming through to the other side. All right, so now we're ready to solder. And make sure your tip is clean. I'm going to come in at an angle like this. Now we don't want solder to go between from, say, here to here or here to here. You know, you can't have that. So notice where I'm keeping the tip of my iron. I'm trying to avoid solder bridging between them side to side. If that happens, you're going to have to get it fixed. Okay, so I'm going to show you how you can do that here in a minute. First, we'll get them all perfect. Then I'll screw it up on you so you can see. All right, so that's what it should look like. All right, but if you were soldering, let's just say you accidentally got a solder blob and it was touching these two together, like it is now, that's not good. You can't have that. If you wipe your tip off, you can try to run it through there kind of quick, and hopefully that'll get rid of it. Okay. If not, then we'll have to do something else. So try that a couple times. If it doesn't work after a few times, then we'll just move on to the next thing temporarily and see your teacher to get it fixed. All right, notch. So we'll get this part in. Same thing, making sure that every single one of the legs goes through to the other side. Okay, get it in there. Make sure that the legs are coming through to the other side, which they are. And then we can tape it down and solder. Whoops, those are touching. There we go. Okay. And looks like the last thing I'm going to need to put in there then is my battery snap. Okay, so for this, we're going to do, by coming up through this hole right here, we're going to take the red one and put that into the positive, and the black one to the negative. Okay. And if hopefully they don't pop out on us. Okay, there. And solder them in. Alright, and you can go ahead and pull your wires back tight and give it a try. If we're lucky and we've done a good job, oh yeah, it should work. Okay, and then again, turning this will just adjust the rate that it moves. Good to go.